Hey, it's Fen and I'm back again. I'm sorry. That was kind of cheesy. Anyway, I am back with part 2 of my last video. I hope people didn't mind me splitting up the process. I didn't want it to go in the 20+ minute range. Honestly, I don't find that my process is like cool enough or interesting enough to warrant that kind of a video. So yeah, I'll watch other people do that stuff, but I don't it's just a regular drawing. It's not super interesting, in my opinion. If you did stick around from part 1 and are now watching part 2, I want to say thank you so much. If you haven't seen it, part 1 yet, I will link it in the description box below, or maybe I'll figure out one of those tiles or the card thingies. Here's hoping. This time around, I'm just going to be wrapping up the coloring process for my Menhit drawings. In the future, if I do another video like this with characters who have like multiple outfits, I think I'll just do separate videos for each outfit and separate canvases just to make it like way easier. I think it'll look better and be a lot less disjointed because, as you'll see, I tend to switch back and forth between the different versions a lot, especially after the first one is done. And I think it looks pretty weird and kind of bad. Oh, just a quick refresher, this is my Tabaxi monk, whose name I did not say right the first time around. Her name was A Clear Sky Full of Stars of the Twinkling Cliff Clan, or Sky for short, who is currently going by Menhit in the campaign that she's in. She is my secondary character in a multi-tier campaign that I'm in on Discord. In the voiceover today, I'm going to talk about Sky as a character a lot more than I did last time, and I'm actually going to go over the campaign itself and a few of the jobs that Sky has taken. I also want to apologize because last time I think I just said guild or guild hall when I should have specified that it's an adventurer's guild. My bad. Probably could have figured it out through context clues, but I just wanted to clear it up. Just like last time, I hope you enjoyed this process video, and please don't forget to let me know what you think. I really appreciate the feedback. Sky is one of the older character builds that I have. She's the second or third character that I made for D&D. When I started her build, I really wanted a character that I could name after a goddess in some way. And with her being a cat person, I thought that a cat goddess or a goddess with association with cats would be pretty cool. But I really didn't want to go with Bast because it's a little bit too on the nose for me. Bast is very heavily saturated in pop culture, and I just thought it would be a little bit too cliche to go with the cat goddess for this cat character. I went through a few different goddesses before I found the name Menhit. And Menhit is an Egyptian war goddess, so I thought it was pretty perfect. Her name means she who massacres, and with my idea of the monks that Sky was given to being a group of warrior monks, I felt like it was pretty right to give her this name. Out of all the PCs that I have, Menhit is the oldest one that I still use as I built her. I mean, like, I have one character who's older, but I changed a few things about her for her campaign. Menhit's characteristics and personality have changed, and I adjusted her backstory a little, but everything else has been pretty much the same since I first built her. She's always been a Kensei monk with an acolyte background, and her weapons have always been spear and longbow. When I first thought her up, she had a much fiercer personality than she does now. She was initially kind of rude and really sassy, and she pretty much ignored everybody and didn't care about their opinions. There was a point in the first game I tried to use her in where she told another character that she couldn't distinguish between any PCs without animal features. So like, she could only distinguish between like turtles and tabaxi and kenku and all that. Really, she was just a warrior with a mission and she didn't care about anything else. Now she's kind of awkward and timid, but she's still really fearless in a fight. Outside of fighting though, she's pretty jumpy and skittish. I like to think that she's been isolated from the outside world for so long that she's just not used to how things work anymore and has become really awkward around new people. She's a little mistrusting because of what happened at the temple, and a few of her mannerisms have become a lot more cat-like than leopard when I first built her, but I think it really works for the character. Menhit is 5 foot 2 inches tall, or 157 centimeters tall, which is really short for a tabaxi, and she weighs about 120 pounds or 54.5 kilograms. I couldn't find an official size chart when I first did her character for tabaxis, so I used a base size chart that I found from obsidianportal.com and I rolled for her stats. Since then, it's become official that tabaxi are between 6 and 7 feet tall on average. That's, I think, like 180 something to 210 centimeters. But when I brought her out of the dusty depths of my character archive, I decided I didn't want to change her size. I think it really fits her character because she's small and timid, but she throws out a lot of damage on her turns. And like aesthetically, while I was working on this piece during the inking process, I realized that I made her head just like a little bit too fluffy. So I decided to make all of her a little fluffier, and I changed her coloring idea, which the adjustments for the fluffiness was part of the screen cap that I lost from the last video. I kind of wanted to do it anyway, so I just kind of ended up making her half snow leopard, half spotted leopard, and I really think that the mix looks nice on her. It just feels right. So far, she has made 2 friends and has a humongous crush on one of the other PCs. One of her friends is a Minotaur cleric named Karnas, who is going to be retired soon, so we won't see him anymore. And her other friend is a human paladin druid named Toive, who is so sweet and kind. I really love our baby druid. He's so cute. Karnas and Toive have been the nicest to her so far, and Menhit really appreciates it. Since the monastery was really strict and there weren't too many nice people, it's been refreshing for her to find people who are really nice. Her crush is the only other tabaxi in the guild. His name is Looping Path of the Dangling Buttons from the Humble Oasis clan, or just Loop. I think he's a ranger. He's the only other tabaxi that she's met since she left the monastery. And they have really similar personalities, so she's kind of crushing on him pretty hard. We do have another player, the one who suggested that Loop join the guild, and he has been shipping Menhit and Loop from day one. One of his characters, a Luxodon cleric named Yavik, is constantly trying to push the two of them together, and it's so far not working out the way that he wants, but it's really cute. I really love it. I love his dedication to his ship. The game that Menhit is in centers around the Umberland Adventurers Guild, and characters take jobs from recruitment posts. So we run a lot of one-shots, and sometimes there's a multi-shot every now and then with a few different dungeon masters. And players can have multiple PCs for different things. The sessions themselves have different tiers of difficulties, which allows for players to have multiple characters at different levels, but you can't just make a character at 5th level to be in a specific game. All the characters have to start out at level 3. I think it's to allow for the first group of class features, but I'm not sure. The game itself is an XP-based leveling system, so we gain gold and downtime days after each session, along with the XP. I've never played a game with that kind of system before, but I like how it works in the world that we're set in, especially with the option of having downtime day activities and all the different things you can do in those specific activities. But so far, Menhit doesn't really have a use for either downtime days or gold, so she's just kind of collecting downtime days, and her gold goes to buying healing potions before missions so she can hand them out when people get hurt nearby. I've been thinking of saving up her downtime days so she can learn a new tool proficiency, but I'm just not sure which one I want her to learn yet. One of our missions was really difficult. We had to fight off an orc raid. There was a trap set by 2 of our PCs, and in the morning we fought off a few of the orcs. It wasn't the whole band. And we took care of them pretty quickly. Luckily we had Karnas to heal us and everything. And the trap really helped, but the main force of the raid party made it to the village. Honestly, I was lucky to be playing the character that I was, because feline agility plus unarmored movement really got me places. So I ended up like on a roof and was shooting orcs until the house that I was on was set fire to. And after I got down, the orc Eye of Groomsh came out, and Menhit was the closest PC to him, so he was really like throwing a lot of hit points at me. And I think the only reason I didn't go down was because I was smart enough to have bought healing potions before we started and had been up on the roof before I took much damage. The fight lasted a really long time, and we ended up losing 2 characters, one of whom was replaced by Yavik and the other who was replaced by Loop. We were really close to losing that fight though. It was pretty stressful. Recently, a few of us went to a haunted house, and the house was occupied by possessed automatons that were made by the previous owner, who was a toy maker. The whole thing was kind of just like a lot of scary movie tropes, and like there were puzzles and traps and things that were on walls and stuff like that. We ended up finding out that the toy maker had made automatons that resembled his family, and somehow they ended up being possessed by his family's souls. And he had been with us literally the whole time. He was disguised as a dude who was there to like observe and record what was going on. And we ended up killing him in the final fight. Well, Menhit didn't kill him, other characters did. But in that fight, Menhit took some pretty high damage rolls and ended up going down. I rolled 4 death saves for her, 2 successes and 2 failures, and none of them were crits. 2 different PCs tried to do medicine checks and failed. And then finally, another character used some special feature and healed Menhit without having to go near her. After getting up, Menhit killed the last bad guy who had been the one that knocked her out. And once that was finished, in this really good show of RP skills, Menhit laid on the floor because she was hurting pretty badly. And Loop, who had been right there doing a medicine check, like picked her up off the floor and supported her a little bit and like made sure she was okay. And her crush just got further right then, just a little bit more of a crush. She's almost to the head over heels part. Almost, not quite though. We ended up taking points of corruption in that fight, which was like, that's also a mechanic that's new for me. But Menhits don't affect her all that much. Her bane is that any plant that she touches dies, where she doesn't really do much with live plants. And her boon is a boost on charisma saves, which she doesn't do charisma saves very often. She's not charismatic. She has a negative charisma modifier. And really, I think that her bane makes her seem a little bit cooler. Like she could walk through a field to a bad guy and like all the plants around her are dying as she walks through. I think that'd be pretty cool. But that's all I have for you today. And we're also getting pretty close to the end of this video, so I'm gonna stop talking here. Just so you know, there are links to the music sources, my video editor, and my social media in the description box below. If you stuck around and enjoyed watching my process, please consider liking the video and try and say hi in the comments. More than likely I'll say hi back. Again, thank you so much for watching. I hope I see you next time. Bye!